What is up, everybody? Back with the final episode on Bagged on 20s. We are on episode 14, the final episode, the finishing of Bagged on 20s as far as the suspension and sheet metal work go. This will obviously get back into the hands of Christian and Matt, and they're going to get the truck painted, do the interior, and then possibly some engine related items. We'll try to update you on that throughout the process, so don't be worried. I will try to do a follow-up video on the truck itself. Once we got the truck pretty much all back together and assembled, it was time to do some test drives and get the truck down to the exhaust shop. I took it down to my buddy Rob at Ira's Muffler, or Rob's Muffler, I'm not sure what he goes by now, but I've been going there for several years, and he does all the exhausts on my trucks. And we got the exhaust tucked up in this truck. I believe it's a 2-inch exhaust. We ended up doing a FX flow muffler, and then it is dumped outside of the bed where it was dumped before, but we had to chop it off because of the suspension work. So he was able to reroute all that stuff. He had to do a custom Y pipe because it's a V6, so we had to bring up the exhaust underneath the motor so that we could actually get the truck laying true frame. Because before, where it split down and then the Y pipe came together, it stuck about 1.5 inches below the frame, so that was no bueno. But we got that all done. The truck sounds really good. We went with, like I said, the FX flow muffler, which is a little bit quieter than what was on the truck before. It's going to actually break in a little bit more because, you know, over time the sound changes a bit, so it'll probably get a little deeper. Once we got the exhaust done, the truck was feeling really good. The suspension itself is handling really well. The truck does need a carrier bearing, and Matt and Christian are going to take care of that. But I did want to test the fuel fill, and I actually did run into an issue with the original fuel fill we did. The major issue was, by the time you were getting the gas into the back of the truck, if the person before didn't let all the gas drain out, it was actually coming out the nozzle and down the back wall. And then also what I found out is, since I had it straight back, the fuel fill, I was actually getting some fuel coming back at me. And you're probably wondering, how is that the case? It's just because since it was flat, any of the fuel that wasn't going down into the tube, it's flat, so it just kind of ran back out, and that was not a fun experience. I tried to switch up the fuel fill entirely and do a fuel fill that had a little push button thing in it. It helped, but it still wasn't the solution. And I pretty much knew what the solution was going to be, but I really didn't want to do it. But we had to pull that fill out, and we had to very carefully tape the back of the bed, and we cut out and raised the fuel fill, and now it's a bolt-on, or actually have it riveted on piece that actually sets the fuel fill at an angle. I realized that was the biggest issue, is there was no angle. I redid that, and I managed to work pretty well. We went to the gas station, and we got 100% of the gas into the gas tank, which is very important. Once we got the bed on and everything, we adjusted the Endo VT tank, the valve tank by AccuAir. As a lot of you know, maybe some of you don't, AccuAir has actually closed their doors. They are no longer making product. I'm not sure if it's due to the COVID-19 or if it's other related things. I don't know. I'm not a part of it. I really do like AccuAir product, but you know, it sucks to see them go because they're really bringing out some innovative things. But it's kind of cool that I got to be able to put a Endo VT tank. Now, this wasn't the compressor tank, but the valves are built into the tank. And basically what I was saying before is, once we got the bed on, we adjusted the valve controls so the truck drops really level and then it raises super level. For the most part, if you just don't do anything, front of a truck is always going to drop faster because of the motor, and there's no weight in the bed. Even though the tank's in the back, we did the sheet floor and stuff, it still is way significantly heavier in the back, or the front I should say. But we got it dropping down nice in level. So before we get into the final little edit of the truck, we are gonna do YouTube shoutouts. We do YouTube shoutouts on the build videos. So I'm gonna pull up all the people that wanted shoutouts from the last video that commented. If you want a shout out in the next build video, and you're probably wondering, well, this is gone, right? The next build video will be episode 2 on the Toyota. So look forward to that. If you guys haven't seen episode 1 on the Toyota, go check that out. We are doing a sheet metal floor engine tubs and a couple other modifications to this 82 Toyota that a customer dropped off. First shout out goes to Dina's Garage. He's working on a S10 Extreme as well as a Honda S2000. I've been watching his videos. He's working on bagging his S10, so if you guys are into the S10s, I would go check him out. Sparky the Legend wanted to shout out his fellow club members at Drop TV, Ground Level, Alabama. Next shout out goes to Epi's Chop Shop. Sorry if I pronounce this wrong. Zepool Works. He says he does diesels, Hondas, and Slam mini trucks, airbagging, and all that fun stuff in sunny Florida. Man, I'm jealous of you guys in Florida sometimes. Although I have seen your shit weather, I don't want that weather. WireNet wants me to shout out Mini Truckin' TV on YouTube. I'm actually subscribed to their channel. They do a bunch of random mini trucking related stuff, so go check them out if you have not already. Now, I'm not sure if he wanted to shout out, but I'm gonna shout him out anyways because he deserves a shout out. Fueled Films. I'm pretty sure all of his content is show and feature related content, but always great content nonetheless. It's gonna wrap up today's shout outs. We're gonna get into the final edit of Bagged on 20s. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Hope you enjoyed this final episode, and we'll see you at the end. That's going to wrap up the final finale episode on Bagged on 20s, aka Land Scraper. I hope you enjoyed this series. I will be doing one last major follow-up video on things that I, personally learned, didn't like, and all that, the ups and downs of the build. So if you have any particular questions about how I did something or why I did something or anything related to the build, please let me know and I will answer that in the follow-up video. But other than that, like I said, we will revisit the truck once it gets, painted and interior and all that fun stuff. Stay tuned and look forward to the future videos of the finishing of this truck. And then, like I said, I'll have a follow-up video coming shortly. And with that said, this series is over, but a new one is starting. Well, it's already kind of started, but we got the 82 Toyota long bed to work on now. So once this gets out of the shop, we're gonna pull the bed back off the Toyota and continue work on the bed on that. We're doing a big old raised floor with a big 5-foot access hatch. Anyways, I'm rambling. Stay tuned in for the new episodes on the 82 Hilux project, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all for watching, subscribing, sharing, liking, and commenting. Hope everyone stays safe out there during this whole ordeal. It's definitely not a fun time for anybody, and I wish we can get back to normal so we can go to some truck shows and all hang out again, because, it's loner time right now. I'm pretty used to it, but we all need some human interaction, right? Anyways, have a great day, guys. Keep on trucking. Peace.